In 1974, the British Geological Survey was asked by the Bolivian government to undertake a major regional survey of the geology and mineral potential of eastern Bolivia up to the border with Brazil, an area roughly the size of Great Britain. The terrain varied from remote and almost inaccessible jungle swamp to mixed grassland, scrubland and deciduous forest. The project was the largest and most ambitious undertaking by the BGS up to that time. Funding was provided by the UK Overseas Development Administration, now DFID, and the Bolivian government at a cost of about £2.7 million. When the project got underway in 1976, this region had neither been mapped geologically nor surveyed systematically for mineral deposits, and for the northern area there were not even topographic maps. It was truly terra incognita. The BGS team of up to 11 geologists, together with counterparts from the Bolivian Geological Survey, was based at Santa Cruz de la Sierra, the jungle city of the Bolivian lowlands on the southern edge of the project area. The first 3 years were spent in the south of the area, where trails permitted the use of four-wheel drive vehicles. The final years were spent in the north, where rivers took the place of trails, and field brigades, together with aluminium canoes, had to be flown in by DC-3 cargo aircraft. In this remote region, the geologists had first to make their own topographic maps, which included naming features such as rivers, ridges and waterfalls for the first time. The main problem for the geologists consisted of the daily persecution from insects such as mosquitoes, gnats, ticks and little ticks, or garrapatillas, the hornets and local sweat bees that covered exposed flesh and entered the ears, and, above all, the African or killer bees that kept them dancing from dawn till dusk. There were also encounters with anacondas, alligators, piranhas, stingrays and the occasional jaguar. The Serranía Huanchaca Plateau, which occupies the northeast border with Brazil, was perhaps the most fascinating and challenging part of the project area to survey. Rising from the lowland jungle and surrounded by precipitous cliffs, it was the inspiration for Arthur Conan Doyle's novel, The Lost World. The region was first described by the English explorer Colonel Percy Harrison Fawcett, who traversed the border area on behalf of the Bolivian government in 1908. On his brief return to England in 1910, he read a paper to the Royal Geographical Society, which inspired Conan Doyle to write his now famous novel, populated by dinosaurs and flying reptiles, and subsequently the inspiration for such films as King Kong, The Lost World and Jurassic Park. In 1980, when the project embarked upon a survey of the Huanchaca Plateau, the region was uninhabited and largely unexplored, although some ancient stone axes shown to one of the team leaders indicates that the area had been populated in former times. Access to the Huanchaca was possible only by helicopter, since the escarpment rises up to 600 metres above the surrounding forest. By the end of the project, a number of interesting mineral discoveries have been made, including gold, tin, nickel and rare earth elements. On the other hand, Conan Doyle's description of living dinosaurs and precious diamonds guarded by swooping pterodactyls turned out to be a myth. Fortunately, the fabled Lost World itself is unlikely ever to be exploited for minerals, having been declared a World Heritage Site in 2001. It now forms part of the Noel Kempff Mikado National Park.